C'Keda Gatafi was born into a world where the self is considered a hindrance to progress. On his planet, individuality is measured in terms of output and logic, not sentiment. Emotions are vestigial. Pain is a solvable chemical problem. Zomoranians believe that the path to enlightenment lies not in philosophy or religion, but in the eradication of inefficiency. And for a species obsessed with perfection, childhood is merely the prelude to becoming something better. A machine. C'Keda doesn't remember the exact age he began his augmentations. No one really does. The procedures start early. Mechanical replacements of organs, limbs, even portions of the brain. This mechanization is the cornerstone of Zomoranian culture. Children are expected to endure the transformation without complaint. For C'Keda, it was never a question of consent. This was the way. He excelled quickly. Zomoranian intelligence is prized within Eclipse, the sprawling military scientific empire bent on unraveling the limits of biology and physics. C'Keda rose through the ranks not just as a general, but as a biomachinist, a revolutionary in the field of organic machine synthesis. He developed protocols for many procedures used by other scientists regardless of species or origin, and was even gifted the Fin, a prison created by Eclipse to house the universe's most unruly. On the Fin, C'Keda experiments on who he wishes, when he wishes, and how he wishes, simply in the name of scientific progress. He believes in this system because it works, because it has to. His physical form from the neck down is entirely mechanical, a perfect synthesis of synthetic musculature, plated armor, and pressure-sensitive materials that simulate touch only when necessary. His skin, blue-toned and semi-metallic in some lighting, is interrupted only by plating seams and interface ports. His hair is a long ponytail, white by default, but it shifts to black in high temperatures, a side effect of his biology and a remnant of his ancestry. One eye is ice blue, the other brown. This was not his choice. It, too, was genetic lottery. Imperfection. Humility, if one could call it that. When C'Keda met Drema, she was a prisoner. He was told she was on the Fin because she was some kind of problem. Everyone on the Fin always was some kind of problem. His chancellor, the leader of Eclipse, had a blight. A disease needed curing. And Drema held the key. C'Keda saw her as a data point, a sample, a curiosity. He, unlike the Shiraki scientists on Comia, would not tear her apart piece by piece trying to figure her out. He was more delicate than that. Through her, he could find a cure for his chancellor. But the war had started to unravel at the edges. Eclipse's chancellor began making choices that contradicted their foundational principles. Illogical campaigns. Obvious issues with ethics. Evidence of personal interest overriding empirical analysis. And for someone as steeped in logic as General C'Keda, this was a betrayal greater than treason. It was inefficiency. Even worse, it was corruption. Defecting from Eclipse meant the death of his identity. He was branded a traitor by the very system that built him, and in the process, he had to confront what it meant to have once believed in something so deeply that you could dismantle yourself for it. His body may have been cybernetic, but his mind, now regaining access to previously dampened sectors, was something else entirely. Due to meddling and physical damage, C'Keda regained the ability to feel. Suddenly, things became incredibly complicated. Regret, rage, even protectiveness, especially for Drema. Their relationship is complex. She's taller than him, stronger in many ways, and a reflection of everything Eclipse discarded. Emotion, rebellion, and raw instinct. C'Keda, for all his enhancements, lacks what she has in abundance. And as Fatal Mechanisms, the novel that he's from, unfolds, he finds himself depending on her not just for survival, but for understanding his own fractured sense of self. He fears being on the wrong side of history. He fears that his brilliance will have contributed to something monstrous. But more than that, he fears meaninglessness. The idea that all the work, all the pain, all the mechanical perfection was for nothing. And so he fights, not just against Eclipse, but against the void inside him where purpose used to be. From a visual design standpoint, C'Keda's model packet has a very simplified standard turnaround sheet. I included front and back views inspired by the concept work that Overwatch produced of its characters. Through his design, we can see deliberate symmetry in Zomeranian engineering. Everything must be perfectly and mechanically in its place. C'Keda is built up of nanofibers and mechanical muscle, light, coolant, and armored plating. With his mechanical parts, he is able to achieve a degree of precise motion that no organic being could even dream of. Even his eyes are enhanced, though they retain the natural color he was born with. His legs have reinforced joints, designed not just for combat, but for adaptability in low oxygen and high gravity environments. The Zomeranian people can go anywhere and be anything. A detail shot, ideally posed with his arms slightly raised in an A shape, showcases the design of his cybernetics. I chose to draw him without his uniform because I really needed to understand how he functioned on an anatomical level. Fiber optic nerves run through sheathing beneath the plating. His arms contain interchangeable ports used for interfacing with machines or administering medical injections. All of his limbs can pop off of his body, which is both a blessing and a curse. Beneath his chest plate, glowing power cores pulse white and gold. His heart, if you could call it that, is artificial, steadier than a real one, and quiet. A fission reactor, incredibly reliable, and not as volatile as you'd think. For the height comparison, Drema, the main character, stands at 6'9", towering about a half a head above him. She's organic, raw, and incredibly traumatized. C'Keda, by contrast, is sleek, polished, and controlled. The juxtaposition in their body types, his bulkiness and her thinness, for example, their silhouettes, reinforces their character arcs. Drema is fluid and bendable, C'Keda not so much. Creating C'Keda was a lesson in contrast. He is what happens when the pursuit of logic ignores the cost. His design is surgical, measured colors of black, white, red, and gold, with a touch of blue. His narrative is one of psychological unraveling. The smartest man in the galaxy realizing he might be wrong. This model packet serves mostly as a visual tool for me. I really wanted to create something that brought my character to life in a way that showcased every single aspect of him. If he were to be ported into a video game, what would his concept art look like, if you will? As a character, C'Keda challenges the idea of what it means to be human by showing us the cost of giving that up. And in the end, his story isn't about a cyborg general defecting from a corrupt empire. It's about a man trying to find meaning in the aftermath of belief. A man learning, painfully, what it is to feel. As always, thank you for watching my videos. If you like the content, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss any future content, and give the video a like to let people know what you think. Stay creative, stay weird, and I'll see you next time.